what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Smoking big cigars. I hope you're ready for what's coming now. I'm the one on the lady that would bring it down. There's a joint on the corner where the big boys play, where the whiskey's running like the river, but they all never come for the booze and bass. I'm the one on the lady that'll rock this place. That'll rock this place. That'll rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this
Okay, now, from the beginning.
And hello everyone, and here we are again live once more. As I can see, we've already got people in the comment boxes saying hello to everyone, and Daniel is already talking about his Holy Land. How you going, Brett? How has your weekend been, and your complete week as such?
Slow. But
Slow?
hello, everybody. Yeah, we just got a bit of rain today, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, hello, everybody.
So we've got a few people in here. We've
Yep.
got Lauren, and we've got
Sure.
Daniel, and Michelle is here. How you going, Michelle? You just she did a road trip, like a weekender. So that was yeah. So she went up north and enjoyed herself with her colleagues. Yeah. So here we go. I'm just going to do this. As you can see, everyone, this is a bit of a different look in the pre-show. I've been modifying a lot, you know. And Daniel was talking about his Holy Land, and he was saying that there's been some issues with the Holy Land, so that's interesting.
That Liz? How you going, Liz?
Barry Street is here, and yes,
Riz.
this is no, that's is that Riz or is that Oliver?
That's Liz.
No. I'm going to stay reserved on that one.
Melissa.
Oh, Marissa. Oh, that the dog is the Marissa.
Yeah.
So there you go. So Daniel says mentions issues. It's fine, near perfect. Just bugs. I report here. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna update that system and get it all going and up and going. As yet, I haven't really found a reason to purchase the Holy Land yet. But I'm sure I'm going to find reasons why I want that.
I did watch it today, Daniel. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Minimal lag, I see. So really good.
Oh, that's good.
Azza.
Perfect. It's all happening. Oh, Azza is here as well. So how you going, Azza? And scored number 10 this morning. Woohoo! Oh, that's the dog races. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So the $199 US for the Is that Euro or US? But it's yeah. So the Holy Land. If anyone wants to know, just look it up, and it's basically a remote control for your video recording. It's a HDMI through the air to your system, so you can. Yeah, it's cableless HDMI basically. Very interesting system.
Riss did it again, Mark. She got another.
Go away, Riss. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Well, congratulations, Riss. Anyway, we're just yeah, okay. That's it. Oh God. There you go. So Daniel says it's a video transmitter system for any 1080p signals. Yes. So once I get the 12K, that'll be interesting. And we'll be talking about the Black Magic as well. We'll bring that up as well, and I just want to show people, Brett, the difference between how much difference there is between 1080p and 12K, and I'll visualize that for people so they can get an idea of what it actually takes.
Okay. Yeah.
Score for the A99, she says. Yeah. Okay, there's obviously going to be CC, you know, so we've got 6 images, guys, so we can we'll blitz through them and do our best to be not that brutal on CCing, but nevertheless we have got some pictures here and we can talk about them. I want to know what sensor is in the Black Magic. Well, Daniel, if you go to you don't do that now because we're on a live show, but in the comment in down below, I've actually put a link in to Black Magic, and there's a video there where the guy demonstrates the Black Magic video, and he actually shows the sensors. He's actually got a tray of 20 sensors in the tray, and he's actually showing you what it actually looks like. But I think it's full size. It's a full size sensor, but I'm not sure what size and what megapixel it is. And there's Riz. Yep. There you go. Miss me? LOL. So there you go. So everyone is in town. So that's good. Okay. So, and hello to you, Michelle. Special hello. And you were going to call me, but you never did. So we've got to catch up somehow. Okay. Cool going now. Haha. Yeah, but who makes it? Who makes it? I'm not. I don't know who makes that sensor.
Don't know.
I don't know. Might have to talk to Black Magic to let me in a bit, you know, and open up some doors. Well, you know, as the numbers go up, I mean, we're slowly building up the YouTube channel here, so it's starting to look a bit better, and it's bit by bit we'll get there eventually, and we'll have some people power to actually answer the questions that everyone has got.
Yeah.
I was mucking about under my other account. Aha. So what, you got 2 accounts running here at the same time? Hi, Daniel and Lauren.
And by the way, for those that we didn't do a live show last Sunday, that's because we had a photo walk to do last Sunday. So, so thank you for everybody that came to the last photo walk. Mount
Kufa.
Mount Kufa.
Botanical Gardens, yes.
Moment.
Yeah. So it was actually enjoyable, wasn't it? Like we had a full day, and then a lot of the people, the diehards, I call them all the time, they actually came with us to Mount Kufa, the lookout up the top on the mountain, and we had a good time there and had a good old chat. So it was really good. Good to meet everyone and see everyone there, and new members as well. So that was good to see.
Yep, and it's good meeting finally meeting Asa, mate. Yeah, he showed up.
Asa came as well, so hope to see more of you, Asa. Okay, so let's get out of this pre-show business and get into the real thing, should we?
Yep.
Okay, guys, we'll be right back. Okay, with the full-on show. So here we go. So hello everyone, here we are in the show proper. I hope that video didn't go for too long. That was 2 videos, one after another. So, okay, so here we are in the show proper. And I'm just going to let people know that what we're doing, we've switched things around. So we're going to do the tech talk first. We're just going to do all the, show people what is new out there in camera world. And afterwards, we're just going to do the CCing. So just hang in there, guys. We'll bring it up soon. So, how you going, Brett? Have a good week?
Yeah. Haven't done much all this week. Except the home work around the house and stuff. Looking forward to getting the chance to go somewhere different and get some more images and maybe some videos in.
Yeah, I mean, the way the things are going here in Australia at the moment is that we've got one state in particular that's not doing too well with the coronavirus, which is Victoria down south. We are further up north in Queensland, and at the moment we are sort of, we were at 0 infections, and I've just heard in the news there was actually a case found now. So we just hope it's not going to flare up around here. We've got state borders closed off to Victorians, etc., just to stop the spread. But anyway, we'll just hope everything is okay. And I know Lauren is down in Victoria and down in the hotspot, down in Melbourne. So she'll be...
I want to reverse my decision. I can come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're on lockdown, aren't you, at the moment? So sorry about that, Lauren. Yeah, so there you go. Lauren wants to reverse her decision to come back and wants a refund. Refunds are not given on in cases like this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Daniel was saying, second tip, Small Rig now starts selling HDMI connectors and cables. So that's a direct competition against Tether Tools that actually has got all these cables. So yeah, very interesting. I gotta research that actually and just see what these cables actually look like. Good idea from Small Rig. I mean, it's the next step. I mean, they've got all the housings and all the frames and everything that go the clamping system. You might as well sell connectors and cables. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I know Tether Tools or their cables and stuff. They're pretty pricey. So, especially if you're buying here in Australia, obviously, Tether Tools are USA. So, yeah.
Oh, so there you go. Daniel said cheap, like $10 to $20. That's euro, I would say, that Daniel was talking about. Yeah. So that's very affordable. I think Tether Tools are around $60 odd Australian, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cables. And cable management next, and low-end electronics. Oh wow! So they're really branching out. No problems there. Yeah. So how about, Brett? We will go into the next story, and we have got something that I saw a YouTuber bringing up, and I thought, oh, it's a bit of fun and sort of just diverts people away from what's actually happening nowadays. And maybe if someone wants something like this and wants a different look in their videos, they can probably have a look at this. And let me bring this up. Okay, so this is, I don't know if people have seen this, but it almost looks like a boomerang with some rope and basically just a handle on the end of the rope, and you'll see this guy's spinning it around himself, so it actually becomes like a 360 view of the world. It's really interesting, and apparently it does come with a bracket apart from the GoPro screw-on bit. comes with a bracket for phones as well, so you can put a mobile phone on it if you want to risk it. I don't know if you're spinning this out of control and your phone hits something or that boomerang hits something. I mean, you'll smash up your phone quick smart, but obviously it's just a different look.
God, you imagine springing the R4 off that?
Yeah, well, it's not meant for that. You don't. Well, I mean, you
just saying I can use that on my R4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean they retired the 747, so maybe we can just swing one of those planes and put that on, put the R4 on the plane. Okay, so so this is I think from what I've been hearing about this, it's actually fairly inexpensive, and I should bring up another picture of it so people can see what it roughly does. So this is roughly an image like a wedding couple, and here's the groom spinning the whatever he's got there. He probably has got the GoPro connected, and he's spinning that out, and that's what it looks like. But it's meant for video, guys. It's not meant for a picture. But I don't want to. I don't want to necessarily run a YouTuber's video on here. So I've got a link for this device down below if anyone wants to go and have a look at their website, and there are videos where they actually show this thing spinning around. So yeah, so it's called Selfie Spin. Bit of fun. Anyway.
Reminds me when I was doing my steel wool. You know, put it in a little cage and light it up and you spin it around. And But I was just tilting my head looking at that because,
oh, God, they're talking about hairstyles now. Guys. Stick to the subject. Okay, I think a boomerang camera would be dangerous for me. Best of times.
Hi, Scott. Yes.
Hey, going, Scott. Yep. Yeah. Scott Dancer's in town. How you going? So this was the first story that I just wanted to bring up, and I just thought it was interesting that these sort of things are out there.
Is it on Kickstarter, Mark?
No, it's not a Kickstarter. It's actually their personal website where you can get it from and order it through there.
Okay.
And
I just had to ask.
Kickstarter. Well, if you let it fly a little bit lower, you know, like I might give you a kick. But anyway, it's something interesting, and let's see how that goes. Okay. Yeah. If anyone's got any questions about it, just let me know, and I'll give you the answers, hopefully.
Well, I'll ask everybody: is it anybody interested in something like this? Is yay or nay? So.
Yeah, I mean, we can go and get one and bring it to a photo walk. So everyone has to stand very close, and we'll just spin it around us. Okay, so second story that is probably the all-important story for Sony shooters, obviously, is the big news. Finally, the A7S3 has been announced. So the announcement
will be announced.
Well, will be announced, and the announcement date is July 28th, 2020. That's Eastern Daylight Time. So that's 10. So the Australian time, I think it's midnight, from 28th to 29th midnight. I was talking with Brett about doing a show, maybe, or just going live for that sort of midnight thing, but I think it's during the week, and I'm gonna watch it. I won't be live. I'm just gonna watch it.
Yes, I'll be up late watching it. Yes, but I know Mark will be. But we did just have a little bit of discussion.
Oh, look, I'm just going to be shoveling coffees down my throat, you know, and waiting for this. Because I'm probably going to be pre-ordering this camera if it's as good as I say.
I'll just ask questions people watching now. If you want us to do a live link to on Mark's channel and have a bit of a live watch party, let us know. But I'll
be up anyway, so it doesn't really worry me too much if people want us to go live. It's just that I'm always concerned about these live shows and us broadcasting these shows, and because it's gonna get gazumped with thousands and thousands of viewers, and it might collapse. So I'm a bit worried about that all the time when there's these kind of announcements. There's going to be a lot of people watching it.
Well, we can always talk about it later, the following Sunday, and sort of take off from there.
Yeah, I mean, it is midnight and it's during the week, so a lot of people will be just falling to bed and maybe just switching on their their computers the next morning just to find out what is new and what is out there.
But anyhow.
Yeah, so that's it, guys. Yeah. I don't really want to dwell on it. There's a lot of talk about the sensor size. There's a lot of talk about what this camera is going to be capable of doing. But unless we actually see it in action and it's the announcement has gone through, we don't really want to rumor too much about it, as much as people might want to rumor about it. And I think it's just a safer way of doing things.
Well, I can honestly say something really safe here. Expect more than your expectations. So.
Yeah, it is interesting that the Sony, one of the Sony bosses was saying that the S is not going to be standing for sensor anymore, or it's going to be standing for something special. So
yeah.
Okay.
As the Mark said, any idea on price yet? I'm guessing anywhere to obviously AU, anywhere from 3,500 up to 4. I can't really see it be much than 5, and so it's really hard to predict, and depends on what Sony's going to the price line and where they're going to target the opposition. Yeah. But obviously, this really is just about video. It's not much side still, so we've got to look at it like that. And it might be, I say anywhere from 3.5 to 5, because we're going to get a year line.
Like Daniel is probably right on around €4,000. Yeah. I know, or I've heard that Sony was just holding back with the announcement to see what Canon would do with their pricing, etc. So they need to be competitive with that.
Yeah. The only reason why I said 3.5 up to 5, because apparently it's going to have a U vanish look. It's not the vanish look that you're going to get from the F9.
Yep.
But it's a similar cinematic film look that this camera's going to have. But that's the rumor. So anyhow, just making a point of that. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's let's hope it's going to be that kind of video camera that everyone has been waiting for, and it will actually come out with something really, really special, and it will be another hit for Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so with that price range, let's just jump into another price range. Okay, so Leica have announced a new camera, which is a rangefinder camera. It's called the Leica M10-R. If people have been or don't know much about Leica cameras, they're handmade in Germany, and also the quality is very high, and it's if you look at cars, this would be like the Rolls Royce of cameras.
Yep.
Yeah. So and it's not going to really be the camera for everyone. From what I've heard, this camera is going to be Australian $13,000, guys, which is mind-boggling, and that's without a lens. That's the body only. Now I think it's a 40 megapixel. So and it's just I mean, people that want this camera, they will buy this. It doesn't matter if it's they'll just go and get it, and usually they're street photographers, etc. So it's a very very luxe sort of field of people that actually want this. But nevertheless, I mean, look, Leica has always been good. I mean, I remember, as a child, I mean, I always remember that my father had a Leica camera, so it's a little bit dear to my heart. I've never actually owned a Leica camera. I don't know about you, Brett, but
I haven't owned one, but I was invited to a Leica event with 2 announcements about I think it was about 2 years ago. Got to hold them, got to play with them. So there certainly are high quality cameras and well made and all that. So the price range, yes, it's like you said, you'd be buying a Rolls Royce in the cameras, but it's good. They're a good camera if you're just doing street photography, landscapes, whatever. But not really good on fast action stuff. So yeah.
I mean, Leica has always made it a thing to actually have special stores or segmentation away from other cameras, so they actually are really a special field for the people that can afford this. It's just it's top end of camera, and like in every other field of manufacturer, you've got to have some kind of top end, and Leica is trying to let people know that they are there.
Leica is a bit like Broncolor.
Broncolor for
Hasselblad.
Hasselblad. So Germany has to pay lots for COVID work, need to make money. I mean, just because this camera is, I mean, I think it's exclusively built in Germany, and it's all handmade. So it's it's a special camera for the people that actually want to fan out $13,000. They will do it no matter what you say to them, you know. So
exactly right. And that's the same thing goes like to Hasselblad. Hasselblad, a Swedish company. But same thing.
Well, Hasselblad is now owned by DJI, so it's interesting.
That was a while back now too, wasn't it? So
it's been a while, but they're still producing good cameras, etc. So let's hope that keeps on going, and it's not going to get burnt. And okay, so
what's next?
and here we go. So this is the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 12K. This is what a lot of people are talking about, the 12K video camera. Now, as you can see, the US price is $9,995. This is obviously no change, no pocket change. This is a very specialized camera, and the people that will be using this will be professionals, I'd say, so it's pro level. Now with this, I have just want to give people an idea of what 12K means. Now when you look at 12K, now this is basically an image I put together. This is actually Wellington Point, if anyone wants to know what this picture is. But you'll see that 1080K, then you got 4K, then 8K, and then 12K. So every time you jump up, it's roughly about 4 times the size of the previous. So you can put a 1080K 4 times into a 4K. The 4K goes 4 times into the 8, and then 8 4 times into the 12K. So this will just give you an idea of
Resolution.
of resolution.
Yep.
Now, Daniel just said important the codec works okay, so 12K can be edited on a fast laptop. Yes, and that is true, Daniel. And from what I understand, that I think Max Yurev on YouTube, he did he tried to edit some footage that actually came out of out of the Canon camera.
Yeah. Yep.
and he really got spooked by how much slowdown he actually had on his computers, and that was he had several pro level computers with him. He was trying the Microsoft laptop, high end laptop computer, and also the Macs, and they just couldn't deal with it. And so there you go.
And
so that was it was the R5, says Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's surprising on that the iMac Pro desktop, their flagship desktop, it was struggling. So it's obviously the codec is the problem. If you don't have the right codec, or they don't have refined the codec,
like even the $15,000 Mac Pro.
Yep.
The cheese grater was actually struggling, so it was just it was mind-boggling. So there has to be something has to be done before you start dealing with those sort of high-end file sizes.
It starts to actually. I'm starting to think that our cameras are getting way far advanced to editing software and computers in order to render these videos.
That's why I'm just guessing. That's why Apple is now switching over to ARM chipsets, so they can deal with the cooling and the actual these file sizes for editing. It's just an interesting thing to just observe of how much bigger file sizes are when you look at this. It is just very interesting.
Yeah. Well, we've already said it with the 8K. If anybody is going to buy the Canon for the 8K, be prepared to buy more redundancy, hard drives, SSD cards, and all that.
Exactly, guys. Now, I did see that the Black Magic, for instance, it's got a USB-C out, and in the demo, they when they demoed that Black Magic camera, they just connected an SSD hard drive onto it and then just unplugged it while the camera was still running. they just pulled the cable out and then brought it over to another computer, and they just showed how they could edit. So their codec. I would think that their codec is actually a little bit better. They got and it's RAW codec, so the actual RAW they were showing RAW, and also the in that footage the demonstrator was duplicating the image, the footage that he had recorded, and he had nine of these videos, and he put them into his editing software, and it just was running smoothly. So I think it's got a lot to do with the codecs, and so there's going to be a codec war coming up, I think, with what's going on.
Most definitely, all the top brands. I think Black Magic, when it comes to video, especially now looking at this 12K. I don't even know if they started with they did an 8K one, didn't they? But anyhow, but I think Black Magic.
Yeah, it's just I mean, if someone is interested in actually seeing how much editing problems Max Yurev had, go and have a look at his latest video, and you'll see it there. Now, Daniel was saying the Mac has got a T2 chip. Which helps encoding and decoding, and I've got a T2 chip in my Mac Mini and that's why it's been running so smoothly. I mean, what you see in this show is actually run through the Mac Mini. I keep on talking about this, but nevertheless, it's super smooth. No problems there. Okay, so Daniel just says Braw and ProRes probably best to move forward. Yeah, I don't really want to bore people too much here when I talk about video, etc. And let's just let's move this on. I'm sure people are waiting for the CCing. Okay, and well, the last news that we have got is obviously the new Nikon camera that's actually just come out. It's called the Z5. I don't know. It doesn't impress me too much. It's obviously been labelled as an entry level full frame mirrorless camera, which runs at 24 megapixel or 24.3 megapixel full frame. What got me when I looked at this was it can only shoot 4.5 frames per second in silent mode. It's got 273-point hybrid autofocus system, and finally Nikon gets dual card slots, which has been amazing. But I'm not going to laugh about what Nikon is bringing out, because they are obviously they have to reason and work out why they're doing this. I just don't think they are quite there with this camera.
Yeah, well,
and as Daniel said, it's got two card slots. So also, that was a mistake.
And by the looks of that photo, it looks really, really basic. Really, there's not much on it. So. I know it does. It has got a few tricks up its sleeve where it actually does time lapsing and all that. A bit tricky, and can do a few things. So if anyone wants to have a look and see what this thing can do, by all means go ahead and have a look at it. But obviously this is entry level, and before I would look at this, I'd probably look at the A7 at the A7 III, to be honest. Just because of the actual frame rate. This is obviously not a landscape or wildlife shooter camera. This is just I don't know. It's maybe for portrait taking or something like that. The flippy screen looks very much like the current Sony A7 III flip screen. It doesn't flip down or sideways or anything. So there you go. It's a very entry level. And it's been this camera just came out hush hush. There was no real big talk about it. Okay, obviously they weren't really excited to release it. So
that was it. Okay, guys. So there's the news, and as usual, I'll just bring up our our workshops. We haven't listed any workshops, Brett, and maybe we should discuss that and see if we can make something happen.
It's touch and go at the moment, because I don't really know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, and the biggest problem is workshops. They are expensive, and if we had to cancel just because the COVID-19 wants to show its face again, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So at the moment, it's just going to be looking like photo walks at the moment. But I still got the idea in my head that I might do like one-on-one workshops for other people that are interested in, like a clinic workshop. So yeah. But
what's this, Daniel? I'm just seeing he said we missed some news. AP going Sony only is huge. AP. What's AP, Daniel? Let us know.
Yeah. Sony. AP.
No one knows what lies ahead, says Riss, and you're true. You're right, Riss. I mean, this is going to be in my opinion, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. You know, of what we're dealing with here.
Oh yes, he's talking about the press. You know, the journalists now.
Oh yes,
yes.
yeah.
I know it. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I heard about it. I just didn't think it was. Yeah, it's a good move from Sony to hand out cameras, etc., for free to yeah. So it's I don't know if people are really interested in this, but Sony has decided to hand out to what is it? Sports reporters? Would you say sports reporters or journalists?
Journalists.
They get
sport.
they will receive free cameras from Sony, so they can finally put their Canon and Nikon cameras away, and they can finally do silent shooting. So, which is a great move from Sony, and I think everyone has been waiting for that, and very soon you'll see.
Well, it had to happen somewhere down the track, because if you really think about Nikon and Canon, they had all the exclusive rights to shoot like AFL and all the footy games, you know, rugby and all that sort of stuff, you know. So, you know, and Sony's just sort of went around the whole lot now and went bigger. So
So I mean, it is not stupid at all. I mean, it's a fantastic move from Sony, but also a very expensive move as well. When you think about, you know, like they'll be handing out thousands of cameras for free. So, but it's a great move to move people into the Sony family, and then you know. With that comes obviously, you know, we're then talking about lenses, etc. So once people get used to being in that realm, they won't move anymore. So very, very, very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks, Daniel, bringing that up. You know. So back to our workshop. Okay, guys. So just hang in with us there about when we're gonna do. And be announcing workshops, and very soon. Again, it is a problem with COVID, and again we just don't know what's going on. You know, and you know, down in Victoria, it's all clamped down. In the world, it's not going good. You know, so we just have to keep on dealing with it. I mean,
we at the moment we're pretty good up here and safe in Queensland, but. Recently, we just heard what was it? One person or 3 people being tested for COVID-19 in Queensland.
Yep.
And look, and seeing how quickly and fast it took off down in Melbourne, and it's starting to look also much in New South Wales as well too. So it's not promising. So, as much as I really want to get more workshops going and, you know, and stuff like that, it's going to cause a big headache for me in the long run. So, I'm just sort of holding back at the moment to see what's happening. So,
I mean, again, you know, like I did mention that in the last show. We do, if people want to do workshops or one-on-one, get in contact with us, and we'll sort something out. Even on the financial side, we understand that people are really strung for money, etc., and we can just sort something out. But do get in contact with us if someone wants to know something or wants to learn. Do a one-on-one. We're just always open for that.
Yeah.
And well, if no one knows what AP stands for, it's American Press. By the way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is an interesting roadmap. Yeah, you're right, Daniel, and great move from Sony. I mean, it's just fantastic.
So where you, Scott? Queensland?
COVID isn't so bad here, but everything is cancelled anyway. Oh. Yeah, it's sorry about that, Scott, but look, I mean, up here in Queensland, I know the ballet has actually started up. The Nutcracker, they actually just staged a show, the Nutcracker in the Australian Opera here, Queensland Opera. So it's not going too bad, but still, people are still staying away from bars and all that. So it's not all beautiful up here and fantastic. It's sort of like it's a bit muted at the moment, and people are still waiting for another wave, by the sounds of it. But yet, look, last time we were, you came to visit Brett. We were up in North Stradbroke Island, and there was a lot of people there. And did you want to talk about the bus ride that we had, or?
Yeah, we forgot to say that last time when I actually spoke of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, look, I mean, look, when we got over to the island, Australia Island, it was all good. I mean, because that was very early in the morning, and the bus trip to was a Point Lookout, and that was fine. You know, there was hardly anyone there, but at the time we I think we got the last bus back to the terminal, the ferry terminal, and everybody was.
I was one of the last buses, and they actually had to. Yeah. They had to supply 2 buses to ferry everyone over to the actual transfer station.
Yeah. So what actually happened? We were at the first pickup on the island, and then they were stopping at every other pickup location on the island, and they just crammed everybody onto the bus. There was no keeping your distance or anything. People standing up in the aisles, and and Mark and I were just like okay.
We were shaking our heads. We couldn't believe it, so it was standing room. It was not even standing room. It was packed full. So and everyone was just. No one was talking on the bus. It was really strange, and so I just don't understand how they let that go through.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, and Daniel said what we're thinking. Why that was stupid. Yeah, and true.
And you saw the signs in the bus. You got to keep your social distance, but yet
and no masks, Daniel. We
no
don't
masks.
Here in Queensland, and we don't we're not obliged to wear masks, and we got told not to wear masks a while back. So, but that's changed now. We're down in Victoria, down south. The Melburnians have been asked to wear masks. So it's not compulsory for us Queenslanders yet.
It will.
It
will.
This.
Yeah, because now, I mean, it is now compulsory in Melbourne, obviously. But,
well, we demand masks in business, and it is what it is, Daniel. I mean, I try to avoid people at the moment. It's just one of those strangest things, like, I mean, you want to be around people, but you don't want to be around people. So it's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
I tell you what, I went shopping to do my groceries at Coles in Gatton the other day, and I saw this old woman. Was the only person I ever actually saw wear a mask, and I went, okay.
I mean, it's a different world here in Australia, isn't it? Like, I just feel so detached. Like, when we walk around here in Queensland, no one is wearing a mask, and it almost feels like a normal day almost, like everyone is just walking around, and I've just been to the shopping centre, and everyone is just walking around without masks, and yet when you see all the footages from overseas, etc., I mean, it's just sort of like everyone is expecting the next Chernobyl virus outbreak or something like that. It's crazy.
Lauren said be a trendsetter Brett.
Be a trendsetter Brett.
Well, look, I look, I'm in two minds, because if you start wearing masks and everybody starts seeing you, you get looked at. Because I know when I saw this old lady wear the mask, I was looking at it and couldn't help. Okay, whether yes, she's an old lady, and obviously she didn't, she was very a high risk, but if I start wearing a mask, you're going to get looked at. And then I even heard stories that people who started wear masks and are getting abused. Like, if you're sick, stay at home. And obviously
it just seems like in this case, like people are being actually ousted for wearing a mask here in Queensland. It is quite the weirdest opposite. And Scott says, said the masks are required here in public as of this past Monday. Yes.
Yep.
And about 10,000 deaths on 17 million people will do that. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, we've just been so lucky here in Queensland that we've closed our borders very quickly, and we clamped down very fast, and obviously our virus breakout has been contained so far, but who knows if something more happens.
We are lucky. We're a lucky country because we managed to slow the rate down the first wave, and we did such a good job. But here in Australia, Daniel, that we're so open and apart compared to America.
Yeah, I mean, we are only, what are we now, 26 million people here in Australia, all up. So we've got, I mean, this is spread over a vast amount of country. So we are fairly, we've got spacing from each other, apart from Melbourne. They obviously want to be very close together.
Anyhow, I think we have to move on.
Yep. Okay, so now...
Hi, Sharon. Welcome.
How you going, Sharon? Oh, you're just in time, Sharon. No problems. You've just come in from at the beginning of our CCing. How does that sound? So, guys, say hello to your new friend. So this is
right.
Carl Ridgway's image.
Yes, I remember Carl. Yes.
Yep,
if he
Carl.
is watching. Yep.
Are you actually in the comment?
I don't think he is, but I think he might watch later on. So yeah.
Okay. So very nice image. I remember shooting something similar with this when we did a walk, Brett.
Kangaroo.
At Kangaroo Point.
Kangaroo Point. Yep.
So Carl shot this with the A7 II and the 85 f1.8. Unfortunately, he didn't. I actually asked him to pass on details about the shot, but obviously something he got busy. There you go. So now, what do you think about the shot, Brett?
Actually, it's quite different. It's because we know what this setting here is all about. This is this little, some girls do this. What is like
they're sort of like
birthdays.
a picnic. You can basically call these people up and they'll cater to
whatever you need is
plus
alcohol,
2 or
food.
more people. Like they do a whole heap of even a huge gathering and all that. So it's a really nice setup, Like, I mean, the location here in Queensland really helps selling this idea because you can do this outdoors, no problems. Like,
and this is
90% of the year.
But anyhow, look, I like it. It's obviously focused on the picnic settings there in the foreground, and you got this beautiful backdrop of the Brisbane city in the background, and he's done it in a way too that he hasn't really he hasn't really blurred the background out. You can still recognise what's in the background.
Oh, I like the bokeh that he's actually organised there.
The bokeh,
like
yep,
it's-
yeah. But he hasn't blurred it out. You know, like if you would use a 600mm and just blow it away, and you wouldn't know what's in the background. You know, but no, I quite like it. Warm. Yeah, and it's interesting how he's got the picnic to the one side, to the right-hand side. It
looks sort of like coincidental, you know, like it's a really nice placing of the image.
I'm not quite sure if he's put it to the side there and had this little bit of a glass sort of sitting there on the left-hand side to sort of balance it a bit. I'm not really sort of, I think, you know, the composition might be a bit better. And it's hard to say too, because if you weren't there on the night, you don't know what composition you could have got just by looking at this photo. But I'm just sort of saying what I'm seeing in this photo. I think the composition could have been a bit different. Other than that...
well, I know for a fact that Carl actually... the camera was a loaner. He actually lent the camera, so it wasn't actually his camera. And so he wouldn't have known his way too much around the camera, etc. And he did a good job here.
Yeah.
Now,
look, I like it. I mean, I just thinking of different ways for a better composition. I just feel it a bit off balance.
I mean, I don't want to flash up the comments, but Daniel is saying maybe just me, fun image, was such a great photo, and the lengths we go through to get the shot. Says Riz, and the river acts as a background. So this is basically a gold mine here for people that are overseas and have never been to Brisbane. The Brisbane River basically snakes its way around the city, and so we've always got this beautiful reflection in the water, etc. And it's a really nice city to actually photograph.
Yep.
Now, how about if I do a bit of CCing? I've got two problems with this picture, and they're not mega or anything like that by no means. And I'm just doing this here in Luminar 4. If anyone wants to know what this is, and now I'm not sure if it's because I lifted this picture and brought it into my system, or if it's just because it's a JPEG and a lower quality, but there is a lot of noise in the sky, if anyone can see that. And if we just get the denoise out and just slide that down a little bit, and remove some of the noise, and I don't know if people can actually then see that. So the left-hand side is the before and the right-hand side is the after. So there's a bit of noise that creeps into the sky when you use... I would say he used a little bit high ISO on this.
I think he did because the water's not smooth. Yeah.
And you'll just sort of see what this does, the before and after. Yep. Now just let me go back. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of that edit. And also, if you see the left-hand building here, this is the darker building, and the building next to it, it's got converging lines, whereby the building on the right-hand side, along the side there, is fairly straight. And again, you know, this can be fixed up with an adjustment, so you can just basically fix it up with the lens geometry. I mean, Luminar does actually a fairly good job with this, Brett, and you can actually see that it actually just puts a grid over it, and you can then make your adjustments as you please. And it is not much. I think it's about what is it, about -3 or something like that, you know, just to get the building straight again. And that's why I always say to people when you shoot a cityscape, just make sure that your lens is absolutely directly square on to the actual buildings, unless you want to distort, of course.
I'll just make a note of it. Nobody can't really see the denoising thing, so you won't really see it. Yeah,
unfortunately, with the quality that we actually are doing the live show on, you might not see it. I can do this a lot more aggressively, but it is just one of those things where denoising is. So if I move that right over that slider, it might help a little bit to see what it actually does. But there is some noise in the sky, and that's how you denoise with Luminar.
Yep.
And apart from that, I find this picture fairly good, very pleasing, very not.
And I was just going to say to everybody too, if people that don't have Luminar, I still had the old version of Nik software before it got bought out by who was it? Bought out the Nik software, wasn't it? On something, I can't remember now, but anyhow. But if you got Define too. That is an excellent bit of software that removes.
I mean, Noise Ninja is another one, and there's a lot of software out there that actually does all this.
That's terrible.
And again, Daniel said use a gradient filter for that, for denoising, and you can do that as well. It's just that Luminar does a fairly good job on distinguishing or keeping everything fairly neutral, and the AI system really works well. And I'm not saying there's any problems with just trying out. All I'm saying is that if you've got noise in the sky, have a good look at it, and you can always denoise it. But then again, if your ISO is very high, you've got to be careful with that as well.
Okay.
And again, tripod, long exposure.
Lauren said you can still get the free version from DxO, but they won't support it if you have issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one of those choices that people can go through and see what is out there. So there you go. That was. Oh, and look at this image, Brett.
Whoa.
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, as soon as I saw this picture, I was actually very much taken by it. It's beautiful. Like I love the background, how it's actually all painted away. What do you think about this image?
Lift. Yeah.
This was actually this was not Riss. This was Ann Tate.
Oh.
Ann Tate shot this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry about that.
The A6400 18 to 105 lens at ISO 800. Was it 1/100th of a second and 6.3 f-stop.
And this is on her U18 105.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah. And like Scott said, the background looks like he's run, but it is not. No.
It's a very fast lizard standing still.
what I was going to say, usually when you see a lizard, people are looking down from them.
Yeah.
And you're looking down. So you're seeing all the ground. And this is probably the first time I ever seen one decide to get down to the ground and give you a whole different backdrop. So the background is sort of busy, but it's bokeh, but it pops him out. So really, your eye does sort of I mean, okay, I speak about highlights again, and the first thing my eye did go to is to hide the highlights in the bokeh in the background.
Yep.
But
now
it's
I can
not
just
that
turn.
distracting.
I might just turn clipping on so you can actually just see the clipping. So it's basically clipping in the darks a little bit.
But all I would have done to this, if you see the blue, how all the black areas, he's underexposed. So I would have just gone over with a paintbrush and lifted the exposure up, or at least the shadows on this. And I know that she doesn't do a lot of editing, so this is pretty much how she shot it.
So this was again, this was shot at f6.3. Okay, so I'm going to critique this a little bit, if you don't mind, Amy. Okay, so now when I look at the claws here in the foreground, and I know it was shot at 6.3, but I probably would have even shot this tried maybe f8, just to get the claws sharp, just so people get an idea of the actual, the danger of this animal and how sharp the claws are. It's sort of like it's a bit out of focus, but
yeah.
Nevertheless, it doesn't take anything away from the actual image. Don't get me wrong. No. Okay, so sorry, I was just looking for something. And the other thing is also that again, I mentioned this in the last live show that the animal is looking from right to left instead of left to right, and it's just one of those things where you can always flip the image, and I'll just show you what this looks like on a horizontal plane. So this is basically flipped from left to right. It can be at times more pleasing if you've got the animal pointing to the right and looking to the right. But take that with a grain of salt. I mean, it's not my image. I didn't take it, and I didn't. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but Western people read from the left to the right, so they'll look at the animal and there is an out to the right. Okay, so the animal's pointing to the right. Just so you can maybe just see the difference.
Again, this is going to come down to
it is personal choice, and it's all I'm saying is just have a look at it, and these are sort of like editorial choices that you have, and flexibility, and you can do it and you don't have to do it, but it's just one of those things. And obviously this is hang on, I'll just get out of this. And will it do the before and after for this? No. Oh, that's interesting. So anyway, there you go. But it is what it is. Yeah. But they're the only two things that I can see. I mean, there is the clipping thing where you could bring the light up a little bit more in the darks, so you can show a little bit more detail.
Shadows.
The shadows. You can bring the shadows out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really good. Yeah.
Very nice picture. I like it. I
would have liked to seen a bit more detail, like you said, in the in his paws. Other than that, I mean,
it's a cracker picture. I mean, you should get this enlarged and put up on the wall. It's amazing. I like it. Okay, and this is guess who this is? This is Riss's picture. Riss shot with the A99 1/4000th of a second, f1.4 ISO 100 85mm lens at 85mm.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brett?
Going on. A lot of bokeh going on. Right.
Okay, Brett is seeing these pictures more or less for the first time. Yeah.
And I'm seeing I'm seeing it through on the screen too. So yeah, look, I don't know. Does it look a bit soft? It's not soft though, the plan itself.
On my screen here, it looks sharp.
Right, okay. Because you can be able to see the image far better than I can see. Because I'm watching on the live show, seeing it. But no, look.
I'm bringing it up a bit
shoot,
closer, Brett. So
I tried to shoot this one myself the other day. I was trying to get something different with a wide angle shot. Yeah, and I got something totally different because I was using the 1635, so I didn't get that much bokeh in the background that Rick got because she was using the 85.
yeah.
So yeah, so she's gone with a tighter crop than I would have got, and like I said, once again, the lens that she shot was the 85. So other than that, I do like how she's placed the highlights, the bokeh balls to the one side, and the yellow leaves is in front of the back green area to bring this image out a bit more.
Yep.
So that yellow is not going to get lost in the back of the highlights and the lighter greens. So
yeah.
Composition. Yeah, I don't know much more you could have done. I suppose when you do take these sort of shots and you're shooting wide open, you do want to take a look around and try different views and in relationship of the highlights in the background where they are placed. So, but other than that, good. What about you?
I'm just having a look at this just to sort of just see what it would look like if it was actually cropped in a bit. But what's going on with my cropping tool? Anyway, so you could basically crop this in a little bit more, maybe, without getting into too much trouble. The other thing would also be that I would, and this is personally talking, don't get me wrong, guys, but maybe suck the greens out a little bit again. You know, like I did bring that up before when we did CC on another image, and it is just one of those things where you can decide if you want to do it or decide if you don't want to do it, but just sucking out a bit of the greens in the image would not hurt. So I'm just looking at, I'm trying to really neutralize the background a little bit, so the foreground sticks out a bit. Oh. What's happening there? It's just gone all black on me. Okay. It's actually caught up to, this is really funny, it's actually caught up to the cropping. Oh, that's really strange. There you go. It blimped out on me.
Yeah.
Look at this. Wow. Just
It's gone.
It's gone. Okay. So talk to yourselves, guys. I'm just switching over to another station.
That's the first time, eh?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen Lumina actually crashing like that. You know, so yeah. Maybe my resources of
yeah, well, you are money. What are you
boiling
doing?
a little bit.
What are you using again? The Mac Mini Pro, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically doesn't even want to start up. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I can bring us back in again. Sorry, guys. Never perfect. That was really strange. Okay, so yeah, so that's probably what I would do. I would actually just deal with the colors a little bit and suck a little bit of the colors out. So it's actually done the adjustment there. You can see it that it's actually gone a bit lighter, and the greens are a bit more washed out and muted. So that basically, it just brings the flower out a little bit more. Okay, so how about we move on to the next picture before this all breaks down on me? The craziest thing. So.
Yes, Daniel, the Bird of Paradise, that's the name of it.
Yeah, Bird of Paradise, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is another picture of Riss.
One of her dogs.
And she shot this with the A99 again, at 1/1000th of a second. Must be a favorite shutter speed. f1.4 ISO 100 85mm lens again. So this is very much becoming her favorite lens.
Yep.
So these pictures are becoming iconic, and Riss has been winning a few competitions with these pictures and getting exposure online on Facebook, etc. So I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about this picture. What do you think, Brett?
Different again, because she's come with a bit of creative a view on this shot, because the dog is not actually upright in this photo, so she's deliberately that's what she's done. Tilted the dog in a way, unless she's cropped it in that way and tilted it a bit. I don't know. Slight tilt, okay. She's slight tilted. But look, the person in the background doesn't worry me, because there's a few leading lines in there that sort of maybe a bit distracting, but I don't know. I think it does work, because it's not one of those portraits of the dog that you actually look. The dog is actually looking at you. She is sort of more on top of the dog, looking higher and higher eye height, and so.
And Daniel just said, as a Dutch person, he's not against tilt. Very well done. But, well, I like the leading lines and all that. That all this. Yeah. It is a happy picture, and the colours are really nice.
But I mean, what I meant, I mean, when you look at it, the whole image is it's not, one of those images that you deliberately set up. It's action is happening, at the time.
Yeah.
So, you can see the action, people holding the dog and then person behind, and I don't even know what that red line is at the back. It's like a triangle.
It's more like a pink line, so it looks like another leash. Something. Yeah.
But the only thing I would do is either put a bit more vignetting around, or just lighten the exposure up by radial mask on the dog's face, and just give it a bit more depth. The eyes could be just a bit more lighter.
It's very, very localized, isn't it? So it's very. You might want to move out of 1.4 a little bit, Riss, and just make it maybe a 2.8, f2.8, and just lower your shutter speed a little bit. But no, apart from that, I mean, it is a unique look.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying, and I'm seeing a lot of these pictures that Riz is making or is taking of the dogs. They're all this kind of a unique look. So it's it's a style. It's good.
And
I haven't
good
seen
because
many of these
obviously-
pictures around.
Yeah, obviously because they obviously looked at this photo and picked her out for the is it a weekly or monthly? I think it's monthly.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to flash up a few comments here. He has such beautiful dark eyes. Daniel says a nose a little out of focus, maybe a little higher F. Yes, Daniel. More focus on the dog. Sharon says vignette, LOL. But look, I mean, I've got nothing really too bad to say about this picture. You know, it's just a because it's such a unique shot. I probably wouldn't have taken this shot, this kind of unique shot. I took a shot of a German Shepherd on one of our latest photo walks, and it never occurred to me to actually do that in high, like a wide open or anything like that. So it's an interesting fun shot. You know, it's a quirky dog shot, and it's sort of it builds into the character of the dog. I think this shot. Well done, Riz.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I can say. There you go. Who says I'm draconic about CCing? Okay, and so this is Lauren's shot, I think. Is that right? Yep, Lauren Houston. Are you? How did you get out of your house, Lauren, being down in Melbourne? Okay, so A7R free, 105, 1/60th of a second, f7.1, ISO 800.
Nice. Love the colour on this. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna
yellow
let it all melt in, and I'm just gonna make us disappear, and we can sort of be invisible for a second there.
Oh, Shorncliffe. Up here. There you go.
Shorncliffe. No wonder. What is that in the background? Oh, that's a canoe or kayak or something, is it? See in the middle of the picture there on the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to blend us back in so everyone can see us. We're back!
Well, look. Yeah, I'm loving all the colours and the reflection of the, especially from the yellows and the magenta. It's a pleasing shot. Fishery boat, tugboat, I imagine, by the look of it.
Oh, it's a
Or
ship.
net.
It's a fishing boat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fishing. And again, you know.
Then the guy came up to you and said, apologise that he was in the shot. No, I wouldn't have worried about that. But
now, flip horizontal, maybe. See what it looks like. Yeah, again, going from left to right, but that's just me. And I'm back again. But apart from that, I just feel that just the sky is a little bit dark here in this, over here in the corner. I
do like the transition from dark to light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I would maybe just bring a gradient filter just from the left to the right up to sort of like a third of the boat, and just bring up that light a little bit. Just bring up a little bit more light into that area there, because it's sort of like, it just looks like the ship is sailing into doom. You know, just very dark on that side, so it's yeah. Just looking.
I don't know about that. I sort of, like I said before, I do like the transition from dark to light, and the boat is actually going away from the light. So I'm trying to work out what would have been the boat going. Shouldn't it be the boat coming into the shore, not out to sea at this point in time? Because that,
Well,
I don't know.
It's
If it's,
I don't know. What is that? Is that
sunrise
sunset?
or sunset?
I mean, it looks like blue hour. It looks like sunrise.
It looks like sunrise, doesn't
I'm
it?
sure
Mm.
Lauren can let us know. But again, it's just one of those pictures where, nicely done.
This is sunset. Okay,
Sunset.
so it's a bit odd that the boat is actually going out to sea on sunset. So,
Yeah.
mate, I didn't know they fish at night, do they? They obviously fish at night then.
Yeah.
But when he had flipped it over, it would have made it look like it was sunrise. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like
So,
going
there you
back
go.
into, yeah.
There's so many different points on this one.
Yeah, look, you can create make believe, when you actually are dealing with images, etc., and you can, it's just funny that when you got this aspect where it's sailing to the right, it looks like it's coming back home, and when it's going to the left, it looks like it's going out. So that's interesting.
So, yeah. See, and this is just part of our point why we brought all this up, because when you are shooting even shots like this, you got to have some sort of storyline to it. Actually, as you just heard, what we just figured out, we're processing what was the boat doing. Was it going out for sunrise, sunset, whatever? And we're trying to figure out what the story is.
Yeah.
So
and like
the more
that's a good point, Brett. I mean, being able to tell a story and being able to see a story in a picture when you just stand back and let someone look at that picture and they want to talk about it, and then they sort of get the story. That's what's important. Like, if you become a storyteller, this is really important these days, to actually become a storyteller with images. That will make you money, being a storyteller.
So and Sharon, she said, they go out at night. Fish are weird.
Fish are weird. Well, well, I'm not a fisherman, so I don't know, but I know the fishermen go out in all sorts of weird hours and weird times, and I think it's also got something to do with the time of the season. So and it depends on which fish they're after, obviously, as well. Yeah.
So you had us looking at this and talking about and trying to figure out if the boat was coming in or out. So that's a good thing, because you got, I suppose, the more people stare out trying to get more out of it, That's, I
mean, we are here to when I like doing CCs where we evoke people into rethinking or thinking about what they're doing when they're taking images, and they got all this churning through their heads, and they're going, well, what would this picture look like if I would do this, or what would this picture do, if I would move a little bit more to the left or right, or whatever, is my composition, my framing correct, etc. So all these things, this is why we're doing CCing. So these are little nuggets that we are putting into your toolbox that you will take to your next shoot, and then you can go there and maybe reuse all this information. I'm just okay. So this is Scott's image, Scott Morris, and I'll just flash up the details. So Scott shot with the A6400, 70-200 f4 trusty lens. I love that lens. At 70mm f4, at 1/50th of a second, ISO 100. Yes. Always make sure that's not 1000, it's 100. and being a landscape photographer, Brett, I'm gonna let you sort this.
Right. One of the hardest things when you come to rainforests, and waterways and stuff like that, especially when there's a lot of trees, obviously things do get very busy. And believe me, if you go out to a rainforest and you try to find a composition to find less chaos in the background or whatever your subject is, where here in this shot is that you get the leading line of the creek going up right up through the centre. You can make that out. The only thing that bothers me a bit is the tree branch going almost to the cross, and because the highlight.
This tree branch here.
But it's not so much the tree branch itself; it's just the highlight. And obviously, this was it would have been around about 2:30, 3 p.m. I think, Mark.
Yep.
About the time he shot this. This was from the photo walk from last Sunday. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm
now,
personally, and I don't want to be too severe here, Scott, but it is confusing me, this picture. It looks very natural and very bright, and you can see there's a river meandering through, and but I'm disturbed by stuff that's happening on the side. So you got this outcrop here, obviously that branch coming up. I would probably go back and do another take at this, and maybe even crop in and get lower and get through this branch and try and leave that out of the image. It's always worth a try to have another bite at images. So a lot of people go to one place and they only shoot once, and then they go away and they've got these images. But I tend to go back to the same places more than once, if not 10 times, to get the right situation, the right light on the subject, and also trying out different positions and all that. And again, you can look at this picture and you're going, okay, what if I was actually lower down into the water? What if I was more to the left at a different daytime? So obviously this was a photo walk, so there's only limited amounts of time that you can spend on one image. But it is just, landscape takes time.
Yeah, I can see where Scott was looking at, and what he was aiming at. But it's I think it's not so much the tree branch, but because the highlight, it distracts the image. Because this leading line of the water line going up, this is where your eye's supposed to follow up. Because there's highlights on that top part of the branches and the highlight on the other side, it distracts your view of follow that waterway up to the waterfall. And and maybe what was the focal length on this, Mark? Has got there again?
It was 70 mil.
Yeah.
F4.
What I would have done, he was obviously the 200. Yep. Okay. I would have zoomed in a bit more until that tree on the right hand side was more out of the frame, and then sort of, and like you said, you can either do a crop, but I think it would work if he zoomed out a bit till he's halfway through the middle there, and he's past his highlights of the branches on the left and the tree trunk on the right, and so.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah,
but anyhow.
Somewhere around there without the actual tree, just to get more into focus about what this image is really about is the river. Yeah.
Yeah. But the main good thing is you've got to have a go when you do these sort of rainforest waterfalls and stuff like that. They're not easy to take. You gotta sort of take your time and see that looks a bit better. It's more.
Well, that's okay. So it's still changing. I brought it back to normal again. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Look, I've been to plenty of waterfalls and rainforests, and it's not easy trying to get an image that's not so cluttered and finding lean lines and trees and that's the thing about this sort of stuff. You really need to take your time and look and keep. Even if you're not shooting on a tripod, then you can walk around and put your eye up against the viewfinder and find different sort of viewpoints, and then you might, I do like that, and then you go back and get the tripod and get it and move it pretty, So it's not an easy thing to do. So
yes, it's I'm just bringing down the highlights and just bringing up the shadows and all that, but it's
Hi,
just.
John.
I would probably go back and reshoot this if you really would want to, but it's it's just very hard to correct.
You're putting the highlights down, make it a bit softer, but I mean, the other thing is too, when you see these sort of locations by your own eye, the amount of data and
how you going, John Gatsby is here.
Yep.
How you going,
John? The amount of data you're seeing, yes, it's beautiful and that, but you try to convey what we see through our eyes, and not just talking about me or Mark. Everybody, what we see by your naked eyes is you've got to try and visualize in your mind how are you gonna take this shot and make it work in a 2D image. You're taking a 2D image, right? And then when you're editing, I always try to make a 2D image look like a 3D image. This is where you do like the dodging and burning and stuff like that, and to give you more depth, depending on what aperture you use and stuff like that. But the highlights you've got to be very controlled with the highlights. I wouldn't worry much. With the Sony cameras, you don't really worry too much on the shadows. It's always the highlights that you've got to look at. But unfortunately, in this shot, I like what Scott was doing, but it's just that highlight of the branch. Yeah. Even if that main branch was that one little branch that's going halfway across, even that wasn't there, that would have been a lot better. But
and see, this is the problem with this tree branch. It actually leads you out of the picture. Yeah. So you got a leading line that actually leads you out of the picture, and it's not leading you into the picture, which is it's a problem. Yeah, but look. Redo it, reshoot it. Get down to Mount Kufa and do it again. Okay, I think that's it, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, this is the 6 images, guys. So I'm going to blend us back into us going back to normal. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So John is here, and he said hi, Brett, and hi, Mark. And Sharon actually asked Scott what attracted you to take this shot, Scott. But I think Scott is not here.
No, I don't think
he's not in the show, so unfortunately. But he'll review it all and see it.
Yeah.
A few hours of Photoshop, says Daniel. Well, yeah. We're trying to get the shot done in camera, hopefully. There's a lot of work that you would have to put in to get that corrected.
Well, when you're landscape photography, a lot of landscape photography, they won't use Photoshop to remove things. Maybe small details, like a sign, that's man-made. But when it comes to nature itself, plants and that, something like that, you wouldn't do that. I always try to get everything right in the shot, in camera. So, but that's just a personal thing of mine. So,
Daniel spends his life on Photoshop on the couch. Yeah, see, I'm not very good at. I don't like spending. Brett knows I don't like spending much time on editing. I usually I want to go out there and shoot, and I just pay someone else to do my edits. But look, I'll of course I'll do editing, and but it is not my. It's not my forte, and there are specialists out there, specialist desktop editors that actually will do a mind-blowing job. So I don't know. I like collaborating. I'm more a collaborator of images. Like having an assistant at a shooting with a model, getting an editor to do all the final editing, etc. Obviously, is influenced by what I like to see in the image, but I like to distribute my work out and just so I can concentrate on what is important to me, being in the lens and taking the picture.
Yeah.
And you brought out a little bit different as well, where you like having the full control of taking images and also doing the editing.
Yeah. Well, we were discussing my wave shot I posted a while ago, where everybody saw the final version of the wave that I shot, and I made it abstractly, and I did go into Photoshop to give that blur effect around the wave, so it looked like it was really moving fast. But if you hadn't seen the real shot that I took, there was no way I was going to post that and release it online, because it didn't look fantastic or anything. So, but there are ways doing those sort of things in cameras as well. So I just haven't made it to that point, that particular style. But yes, I do. I like doing a bit more work. I'm a bit more creative as well, and that's part of the art. If you want to create something that was moving faster and making it look faster, and that from a still image. Image was taken 4,000 a second or something like that to totally freeze the water. But you got to think beyond. Instead of just taking shots and accept what you got out of the camera, you got to think more creative on why you took that shot in the first place. And that's exactly why I did take that shot in the first place, because I knew what I was going to do with that image. So, therefore, it's the creative side of me coming out, integrating with the photography as well that I took.
Yeah, totally. But it is photography is a bit of an art form when you when you, it was actually interesting. I listened to Jason Boland today, and he was talking about if no one knows who Jason Boland is, he's a photographer on set on movies, and he did the Mad Max posters, etc. But he was talking about this, and he was saying whereby a normal photographer, like a wedding photographer or so, they would want full control of everything and really want to have ultimate. They want to do everything basically. So one photographer does everything in his business, whereby his line of business, when he actually goes on set and does still photography work for movies, he basically has to let all that go. He has to basically give up all his power to and just follow what people want him to do, and where he needs to go, and there's only limited space on set, etc. And so it takes a lot of breaking down on his end to be that kind of photographer. And the same with me. Being a fashion shooter, I got to give up a certain amount of power, and I've got to understand that it's actually a collaboration. It's collaboration work, and sometimes me going out there and wanting to force a shoot through is not the right way to do it. But again, every genre of photography, you need to look at what you're doing. I mean, if you're a wedding photographer, yes, you need to have complete control. You need to control all that, what's happening on the day. Whereby in some other fields it's a little bit different. And obviously, if you're a landscape photographer, you want complete control. you just want complete control from the shot all the way to the print. And even the framing, etc. You know, and that's a totally different thing. Yeah. So we're slowly coming to the end of the show, Brett. What are we? We're about 12 minutes before 2 hours are up.
Yep. We're on par.
And Daniel says it's easy to distract. I should have flashed up more comments. Sorry, I'm lacking compassion at the moment today. Just trying to look at all the comments that
that's right, Lauren. Time flies. We're trying to get through everything before our time's up, and so
it's always it's really interesting since we've been doing the live shows, Brett, that we're always trying to find a pace, and we're always trying to find interest in what people want and in what direction we're going, and we're always trying to improve things. I mean, I'm always on, like creating all these little bits and pieces, like even the name tags and all that. And I don't know if people have realised that has changed a little bit. And we're always looking at improving stuff. The roadcaster in the background is gone, and I've got my cityscape in the background. So there you go. Yeah, time flies, says Lauren, and Oh, thank you very much, Lauren. Said that we're doing well.
Daniel, we did that because, the CC critiquing images takes a bit longer. So,
we just thought that the news, getting the news up and done with is probably more interesting. And then we can just, relax back and do the CCing. It was always a sort of like a race to the end, doing it the other way around for some reason. Yeah. Thanks, Daniel, for the. That's what we want. We want feedback. We want to know what people are saying, and even if it's harsh, we don't really care. Just go for it and let us know how we can, sort things. So Brett.
And you want to give a shout out about what's in our bag, and how many people watched that? Did they enjoy that? Obviously they did, because you were getting quite a response and viewing too. There, Mark.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's been a bit of interest in what's in my bag, etc., and I've got a few lenses here. If people actually want to see what I've got here, the 24 GM, little bit of the gold badge, obviously, and it's a beautiful lens. It's a great street photographer. It's a great all-rounder. It's a good landscape lens. It's at 1.4. It's a great night lens. Sony did a real good job on this.
Yeah. And that was the video that was the lens that you did with the video for that.
I use this mainly just to when I'm outdoors and I'm shooting video. I throw on the 24. It could be a bit wider, like a 20 mil could be interesting, but at the moment I'm quite happy with that. And interestingly enough, we both had this lens in our bags. This is the macro, the 19 mil Sony macro G lens. And I've got to cover my eyes so it actually sharpens up. Okay, this way around. There you go. So this is a beautiful lens as well. So it's a beautiful macro, pin sharp. What do you call it, Brett? You call it the Excalibur?
The Excalibur. The Excalibur.
So it's razor sharp. Yeah. Great lens to have.
Yep.
And obviously, we like our the 135 1.8 GM lens, which is a nice lens to actually have. There's a lot of glass in this. Really liking this. There you go. Put a bit of shine on it, and it's beautiful. But again, this is more. I would call this a specialist lens. It's not a must-have or a must-do. And again, I already spoke with you about this, Brett, where we're probably going to be doing definitely there's going to be another video of what's in my bag for landscape photographers and cityscape shooting, etc. Like basically a big bag. This is going to be a big production for us because it's going to entail a lot of lenses, and we're going to go through a lot of detail and actually explaining to people why we have got such a big bag. And I saw a picture of your bag that was the Lever Pro.
The Low Pro 65 litre.
65 litre, and I've got a small bag here which is a 53 litre. I've got bags that I pack for overseas travel, etc. But that's another story. But yeah, so we're going to basically be doing that, So that's an upcoming video.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, Sharon said she's interested if she can swap bags. Trust me, you will. If you go through your life with photography, you will never stick to just one bag. There's always going to be another bag and another bag and another bag. And I'm also going to show I want to do another video as well, Brett, with a bag that I take to model shoots in studio, and you'll be very surprised how small this bag is, and how little is actually needed for that. But I will do that as well soon.
Yep.
And that's my Domka bag, which is
brand. I might try something different too. I might actually do a video what's in my Pelican case. I don't think anybody has ever done that.
Yeah, I've got a Pelican case here, so we can actually compete with each other. Yeah, I've got a 2-reeler Pelican bag case. Yeah. Yeah. So Daniel said, look, he owned something like 20 bags. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but the only thing I hate about Pelican bags, once you cut those little, you pull away those little squares and that, and and that's over time, everything changes. Your lenses get swapped out with something new, and they don't fit. So you either got to put the
phone.
old piece, the phone bit.
No, I've got a Velcro pad inside, so you can actually the inserts like a normal bag.
Yep.
It hasn't got the foam in it.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. But they Bunnings used to sell a Pelican type base hard case that was waterproof and everything, but they got the foam in it, and it was not actually just made for photography, but more anything that was tools like sensitive tools and that. But you can use them as a camera, a bag thing. So you can actually lock them up and all that. So, and they're hard wearing and that. But I usually put my lights and those sort of things. So, but if I'm going on a special photo shoot where I just need the bags, and it's much easier to just open the bag up, the Pelican case, open them up, and then you just instead of the bag. So it really depends on the nature of the shoot, whether you need bag or Pelican bag or whatever you're doing long trash. Especially like if you're doing landscape shooting, that there's going to be a lot of dust, there's going to be a lot of water and so forth. So that might be an option,
Yeah. I should have had some pictures, and I should have demoed it. I had a problem with my Leo photo tripod a while back. I don't know if I spoke with you about this, Brett, and the shims inside the legs had broken, which is basically that little bit of shim when you pull when you remove one of the leg extensions, you'll see there's actually that little plastic sleeve, and they're called shims.
Shims.
And for some reason, Leo Photo has decided to make their shims out of black hard plastic, and they're not. When you open up a Benro tripod, for instance, you will see they're actually like a white, softer plastic, like really flexible. And it's not the case with Leo Photos. It took me the longest time. I think it broke pre-COVID virus, and I finally got the shims sent to me.
Finally got them
yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, I received them yesterday. So big shout out to Leo Photo for sending that out to me. And but nevertheless, they should actually look at the shims and maybe redesign them. Instead of being a hard black plastic, they should actually be, and they're so thin that they're very susceptible to very fragile. And if you just shoot the legs out, those shims are also the stoppers, if no one knows that, and that basically bangs when you hear that banging when once you've extended the leg. That actually hits that's the end stop. So that's why these shims have broken. So, but it's all fixed. It's all done, and I'm a happy camper once again. So.
It's little things like that. Yeah, you just got to, and that's why you got to keep with any tripod. You need to keep doing your maintenance on them.
Yep.
And check for those sort of things too. So yeah.
Absolutely, and like what Brett just said is true. Especially when you're around water, you probably should take care of your tripods and break them down when you get home, and give them a good cleaning up and washing out with get rid of that salt water if you're around salt water, especially. Salt water is just so corrosive.
Yep, and they're counting down.
Okay, guys, and we're right on time. Look at this. We've done it. We've done it, Brett. High five. Okay, guys, and thank you very much again for hanging in there and being with us for the whole show, the 2 hours. I actually just saw another guy on YouTube actually doing a 5-hour show, a 5-hour live show.
Oh.
And that wasn't his longest one. So that's Peter Gregg, if anyone wants to know. But it's
Okay.
he just stays up all night and just keeps on at it. Is unbelievable. And he answers every question. He's such a nice guy. And he's in his 70s or 60s or 70s. You might actually have a go at me for tell fibs. But no,
Well,
he's a great guy.
Thanks for the love, the likes. Make sure you share or and other people that watch the show later. Give Mark his channel a thumbs up and follow and share him and his videos and that as well. Obviously the show. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and always appreciate it if you just give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave all your questions in the comment boxes. And everything that we spoke about is actually down in the comment boxes there, and you can see our links, etc. So if anyone wants to join up with our Facebook groups, etc., it's all down there, and have a good look at it and enjoy yourself until we meet again, which is going to be probably next Sunday again. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah, it's night from me.
Okay.
And thank you very much. And
Night, guys.
Take care. Keep on shooting.
And hang on, I've just got to find the outro. Oh, here it is. Okay. See you guys.